coffee shop. Making videos about my transvestite children for TikTok.
I have to say, Casey Day is helping us out right now, and he's putting together, he's clipping segments from this show, Who Are These Socials, and he's giving them to me and Mike to post on our channels and try to spread the word of Who Are These Socials, which we never talk about. Tell a friend.
Yes, please.
This is a great show. You can watch it. You can listen to it. It's up on YouTube. It's wherever you listen to podcasts. Who Are These Socials? And so he's doing that to help us promote the show and get it out there. And the first Woke Dad clip that he pulled together, and it has that stinger on it, I was like, this is quality. This is fun.
Now this is good stuff.
I felt a lot of pride. I had nothing to do with that stinger being created. Just a listener put that together. But I was like, yeah,
we really did it.
Yeah, this is some good stuff right here.
Yeah.
So this is coming in from Record Lover.
Okay.
Because we were speculating about Dan being bald, because he always wears that hat. And Record Lover found a video of Dan without a hat on from years ago.
Magnificent head of hair.
Here he is.
Why, hello, employees. Your friendly HR department has arranged an exciting new policy change to accommodate the current times. All employees are now required to smell like cheap tequila to enter every workplace. In understanding that this is in understanding that it's in woo.
Do you hear children laughing in the background?
Yeah.
He's doing this in front of his children. And in the text on the screen that woke.dad put up for us, who is also a Record Lover in our Discord, says, pre-trans Dan was just a struggling, thirsty, failed actor with a receding hairline and unfunny bits.
So this is very confusing because I saw a lot of videos, both recently and from a long time ago.
Yep.
Where he's like, listen, when I first started this channel, it was so that my kids, so that I could have some connection with my kids when they were with their mom. Not only they're in the room,
yeah,
but he's obviously performing for other
them.
people.
Yes, he's performing in front of them and then showing how cool he is because he's on TikTok, which is what the kids like.
Yeah, so
he's trying way too hard.
Yeah, I guess it's still for them, but I guess my point is by posting that on TikTok, it's no longer just for your kids. They saw it.
No shit. You could have just done this in the living room.
Yeah.
Let me just play the rest of this.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end he sprays hand sanitizer down his throat.
What is the bit? I kind of got lost. He's an HR guy, but he's drunk. Is that it?
I guess. The point is that his hairline is very Vincent Bessie-esque.
Nice.
You could tell it's getting away from him. He's not happy about what's happening on top of his head.
Well, that's too bad.
And listen to this. I learned about this in our Discord. Dan reported the woke.dad TikTok account.
Oh, no.
For a video because it was bullying him, calling him bald.
Wait, really?
Yes. So he actually had a video reported.
But of all the things, we bullied him plenty.
But apparently calling him bald is against TikTok's terms of service.
All right, you're not bald. Jesus.
It seems like just an observation to me.
You've got lovely hair. I'm sorry.
So Record Lover was reporting on the fact that, and you might know this, that Dan was dark for like 4 or 5 days. There were no TikTok videos.
Yes, that's why I've been going back into the archives and sending a lot of old videos. He hasn't been posting much lately.
Well, this might be one of the reasons. This is a Facebook post from the Great Start Coffee Cart where he has a photo from outside of his coffee cart with all of his mugs and things that he builds in the ceramic studio.
Yeah.
And it says, I have plenty of, I just zoomed in too much. I have plenty of handmade pottery items at the coffee shop and ready to find a new home.
Okay.
And what's hilarious about this is that there is a warning sign on the window of his mobile drive-through coffee shop that says, "Warning, this guy is super friendly and often has great ideas." Now let's think about this, Mike.
Ooh, let me brace myself.
This is a man who no longer speaks to his parents and other family members based on who they voted for.
It's a good point.
And he's like, "I'm just a super friendly guy, just wants to talk to everyone." Do you let your kids see their grandparents? No, definitely not.
Even in jest, what an incredibly pompous thing to hang behind you. Warning, I'm a great guy.
I would rather go to Starbucks and have them misspell my name on the cup and yell the wrong name, and I'm waiting longer than I'm supposed to. I don't want to get to know my barista. I'm good.
But even if you did that, like, wouldn't it be like, "Warning, I might talk your ear off," or something?
I know.
Some sort of self-deprecation.
It's so annoying. So anyway, the reason why I bring this up, because he's showing off all of his mugs. He's got tons of mugs. He is now going to craft shows. He's been posting on his Facebook, "Catch me at this craft show." So he's selling these things actively.
Yeah,
he's buying a booth. He's investing money into this now and getting the.
He's a mug maker. He's a mug maker.
He really is. That's his profession.
First and
now.
foremost, he is a mug maker that happens to sell coffee.
Yeah, that's what's happening with this guy, and we called him out. He doesn't like it.
No, he does not.
No, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But first, this is crazy.
I need you to stick around because this message is incredibly important. I need to get this out and I need people to hear it. In the beginning, when I first started here, I didn't start for other people to see it. I started that my kids could see it, because
we just saw that was a lie.
This is such a lie right here. When I started this, it wasn't for other people to see it, for my kids to see it. You can take videos of yourself and message them those videos. You can email it. You can text
even make
them.
it private. Why was it public?
Right.
You know,
TikTok. The reason why you go on social media is to be discovered by the masses.
Oh, jeez. All these people are following me now. Damn it.
That's a blatant lie.
Oh,
right
why does
my
that's
kids
how
could see it. Because they had joined this app, and when they're with their mom, when they're not with me as a divorced dad, I needed to find a way to connect with them and give them hope. And somewhere along the journey, one of my videos got out to someone else who needed hope, and they told me that I helped to save their life that day, and that forever changed my journey.
It's so dead. And I have to tell you, when I heard this, and I draw this parallel a lot, so let me apologize in advance. But when you compliment a narcissist, it's a very dangerous thing that you do. I know Stuttering John better than I know anyone else in the world.
Sure, yeah. Sure, your wife loves to hear that.
She knows that.
Yeah.
Stuttering John is forever living off of compliments. He repeats them all the time. I know all of them. When he was told that he was a headliner, he thinks he's a headliner because of that. When Howard Stern told him he's great on air, he thought he was great on air because of that. There's so many examples of this.
I bet you never heard what Mary Delabate said to him, though. That one's obscure.
Oh, please. So Dan gets a note from some jack off that he doesn't know on TikTok and goes, "Hey, man, I just want to let you know that your TikTok's really inspired me and really helped me out." And Dan's been going around saying that he saves lives ever since then.
It's funny you said. Do you know what I'm about to say about the amount of times he's posted this? Even
no.
So it's funny you say that without knowing that I happen to, because like I said, I've been going back to find older videos from before we found Daniel.
Okay.
And so I scroll way back. He's posted some version of this clip 15 times.
Wow.
Probably more. That's just that I've
and he references it a lot because I've heard him reference this many times. He saves lives.
He goes through the script. He's like, "I started this just to connect with my children, and then it became much bigger when I realized I saved someone's life." It's the same spiel every time. He's made a bunch of videos that start like this.
This is the worst thing you can do to a narcissist, is tell him that, "Hey, man, you're making a real difference."
Yeah, they're a savior.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What
was really crazy is this video is one of the few he posted this last week. And then I just happened to find, like I said, 15 more of those over the years.
But this is his origin story. That's why he refers to himself as a superhero. He thinks that his TikTok is making a huge difference in people's lives.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, I think if you're a content creator in general, like people have sent shit like that to me where, hey man, I was going through a bad time. Your stuff really sucks. And my mind goes right to like, you're crazy. If you think I'm like, I'm glad you got your mental health stuff in order. I didn't do anything. My mind doesn't go to, well, you're welcome.
Mike, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Your life.
we have both gotten these notes, and a lot of people with popular shows get these notes where it's just like, man, I was in the hospital, or my kid had this thing going on, and it was great that I could rely on you for some laughs or something like that. And I always appreciate those notes. It's amazing.
Sure, yeah.
But I've never once thought like, this is now my calling.
I actually did. I did save his life. You're welcome.
Well, thanks for telling me that. Now I have to do that for a million other people. We go save their lives.
Yeah.
What a fucking pompous douche this guy is for saying this. What an asshole. What a raging narcissist Daniel Alexander is.
Infinitely different at that point. I started making videos to connect with a lot of other people, not just my kids. And after I got 1,000 followers, I started a group called The Love Rally. And my content was all about uplifting others. I hadn't really interjected a lot of my values. I just wanted to make a positive space for a lot of people. And I met a lot of people in the Love Rally. Well, after that whole experiment, which was beautiful and amazing, and we helped so many people, I was nervous about keeping some of those people close to me because I knew that some of them didn't share the same values as me. And as I started to share and interject more of my values, I lost more of my friends.
Friends.
But one person.
Friends.
Yeah.
It's another lonely guy. I'm telling you, all these social media assholes who go on social media and they're like, and he's going to say this in a second, but this other TikToker, he's like, oh, this is like one of my good friends.
Yes.
It's not. You don't grab coffee with him. You don't watch the ball game with him. It's not one of your friends.
Box Eating Dad is my best friend. So I challenge you to argue that.
That I believe. KJ, if you're still watching, we're besties. But everyone else, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
To this day, is still an amazing freaking human being. He isn't just there for kindness. We share the same values. He cares about uplifting people. He cares about taking care of others. And this video is about him. If you've never met Liquid Shano, I see his videos and I smile.
I can promise you, I've never met Liquid Shano.
we almost did this video a disservice because I watched it just straight through, and I was like, "Boy, what is this build? Someone must be going through something serious." And he's like, "It's just another life out there in peril." And if you've ever met Liquid Shano, just the reveal of the name, really got me.
At Liquid Shano, and I checked out his TikTok. He's got like the same number of followers as Dan, so it's just another TikToker, just another grifter. Of course, you're going to say like, "Dude, you changed my life. It's so amazing." Like this is the grift. This is what you do,
right?
Yeah, it's like TikTok is saving your life.
But it's also to put on this speech and like not know the guy's actual name. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know,
I don't know if you guys have met my friend Liquid Shano.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, you got to get to know him. It's great.
King
guy.
Cobra JFS is really going through a tough time right now. And we need to uplift him.
All right. This next video, I actually sent this to my buddy Drew Lane, who's actually my real friend in real life. I don't just watch his videos and think we're friends. I sent this to Drew Lane because I was like, oh boy, this someone's on the defensive. It seems like.
you think this is about anyone?
Yep.
It seems like forever ago, but I guess it was just a few years ago that I started building this space, which is an art studio with an intent on supporting kids in vulnerable communities. Kids in a lot of ways like my kids that are part of the LGBTQI community, but there are...
Did you hear that? He started building this a few years ago?
I absolutely did. It stood out to me too.
Yeah.
I was like, Boy, that's interesting. So maybe even before we learned who he was, he started this?
It's the slowest process ever. How long does it take to build this?
It's a room.
It's a room, and it's taking 3+ years to build.
Homes are built in 6 months.
Right.
There are so many groups of kids out there right now who just really need safe spaces. I mean, the social and political environment in our world right now is pretty scary, and they need those places where they can just feel safe and create. And when I started this space, I knew it'd be a lot of work. This is a 200-year-old building. It needed a full renovation. It needed a roof. And I knew it would be a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of that work I'm doing myself, but I didn't care. I still don't care. I do all the work. I just keep going towards my goal. And I know one day when this is fully open, when I'm not just inviting in small groups of kids or just trying to work to make sure that the bills get paid and
2048.
Right, yes. The kids who will enjoy this space haven't been born yet, but they will enjoy this space.
These kids' grandkids will enjoy it one day.
Yes. Fucking asshole.
I know at some point this is going to be a staple to my community. And I have to say, no other space has been more controversial on the internet for me than this space, because some people don't believe in the work that I do. They don't believe me because they see me creating here. And
Whoa. What do you mean some people?
People.
You mean Carl and Mike is what is who you're talking about here. Come on.
I was just thinking about this when you said you sent this to Drew Lane.
Yeah.
You know how furious I'll be if one day he's confronted and he's like, "Oh no, I mean the Drew Lane show. What's who are these socials?"
Who are these socials? Never heard of it.
Damn it!
Drew Lane show.
they question whether or not this space was just for kids or if it was just for me.
Yep, that is exactly the question that we're asking. Wow, it's almost like he's watching our content and responding to it in real time.
And it's interesting that this is happening specifically. He's really started to do this a little more since you mentioned Casey is like cutting the segments out. Like, he seems like the type of guy. He's probably not sitting through the solar segment or the, like Baldwin.
He's not scrubbing through. We usually do Woke Dad at the end. He's not scrubbing through an hour and a half.
Yeah. So the fact that like it's in solitary out there that he can find his. It's interesting that he's responding now.
I love that you wrote, when you sent me this link, you wrote, "This feels targeted."
I can't tell. It's about someone. I can't.
I didn't know what to make of that when I read the description. I clicked the link. I'm like, oh, okay. I see what this is targeted at. This is a slap back to us right here.
Because some people don't believe in the work that I do. They don't believe me because they see me creating here, and they question whether or not this space was just for kids or if it was just for me. The reality is, I need to be able to make things to pay the bills, though.
Oh, okay. So thou doth protest too much, methinks.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like it was part of the pitch when people were donating things
No.
on Amazon. Like, hey, obviously I'm gonna have to make mugs. This is gonna mostly be a mug shop for the first few years.
He's so on the defensive here. He knows we're right. Like, you
wouldn't respond to it.
You wouldn't make this video unless you knew that we're right, that you raised over $10,000 for this studio, and now it's just turned into your new side hustle.
Let me try and prove your point. The Apple Corporation is a scam. Tim Cook is a thief. He's a grifter. We'll see if we get a response now. We're gonna have Tim Cook makes an Instagram.
I want to
video.
say the controversy is just on the internet. My local supporters, which I have way more local supporters than I do internet supporters for the space, they believe in me.
Oh, that's a fun thing too. It's just like, I date a girl. She goes to a different school. She's super hot though. He's doing the same thing. He's just like, by the way, if you guys even knew how much people love my art studio here in bumfuck New York. The internet doesn't get it, but everyone here in bumfuck loves it. It's amazing. Whole community.
In the work that I do, they keep supporting it. They see the work that I do. They see the efforts, and they see the benefit on the community. So if you don't believe in me, that's fine. You don't have to stay here for my journey. Just scroll on. This space is absolutely doing what it's intended to be doing.
Well,
and it'll be more impactful. The more renovations I get done, the more of the spaces I get finished, and the more kids I can let in through the doors. I still have to pay the bills. I still have to make some money by making things, creating art.
Whoa. hold on a second. So he's completely changed the parameters of all of this. I was just going to be, give me money. I'll create this art studio for vulnerable children or whatever it was, safe space, all that kind of stuff. And he's just like, guys, you knew what this was. You gave me money. You gave me money so I could create a thing where I get to play in my fun art studio all day, and then I sell knickknacks at my coffee shop. And
you gave me seed money for my business.
Right. Yeah. You're an investor.
Keep the doors open for. And I also like, he's like, and people have noticed, like, I've really helped the community. As if people are walking around like, boy, since this influx of mugs, things have really turned around. Everyone's got a mug in their hand in our community.
Well, Mike, if I could put on my woke dad pants and explain why that doesn't make sense. He has to counter Trump's presidency. Of course, it doesn't seem like things have gotten better. They've gotten way, way worse. But could you imagine where they would be if not for his ceramic studio?
That's a good point. If Elon put down his chainsaw and picked up a mug, things would be a lot better.
Yes, right.
Okay, good.
ICE would be running through central New York right now, grabbing nothing but Hispanic guys.
They just need a cup of Java.
To sell so that I can keep the lights on. But I'm still going to be helping kids. No amount of doubt is going to stop that. It seems like for...
All right, take that, KARL and Mike. He is helping children still.
How do charities do it? Like, how did charities run without, like, no kids, everyone out today, we're making mugs.
No, it's funny you say that when you were talking about Cook earlier, Tim Cook.
Yeah.
When they first started Apple, the idea was, guys, this is a charitable endeavor that we're doing. We're going to make personal computers and people are going to buy them, but this is really to raise money. And they went, well, what's the charity? Who are we raising money for? They're like, well, us.
Oh, interesting.
The co-founders of Apple. It's our charity for us. They went, well, I don't think that qualifies as a charity. And then they eventually had to become a corporation. But Dan hasn't got there yet. He doesn't realize you can't have a charity that just funds your lifestyle. That's not how charities, unless you're Black Lives Matter, then you can do that. But otherwise, you can't do that. That's not a charity.
See, I didn't even realize the peril when I said that. I just thought of the first sweatshop I could think of to compare this to.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect analogy for sure. All right, this next video is my favorite. Dan is a celebrity, as everyone here knows.
Oh, yes. This is one from the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes he gets recognized as a famous TikToker.
Sure does.
And I love this interaction. This is... No one makes up a story like Dan Alexander. This is so great.
So 4 times since I started on this app, I've been recognized out in the general public as being a TikTok creator. And one happened today. In fact, each was a little more outrageous than the last.
I'll just point out, this is from May of 2022.
Yes. So you're fairly new.
Well, no, but the reason why that's significant is remember May of 2022. Now we had March of 2020. That was when everyone's staying home. Are we wearing masks? Are we not wearing masks? 6 feet of distancing, like all these things.
Oh, right.
Came into play. And then Fauci came out and said, yeah, masks do work, even though he said 60 minutes, they don't. And then 6 feet distance. And in stores, you would stand in line to check out, and there were dots put down that showed you how far 6 feet was, so no one stood near each other.
It's weird that was all less than 5 years ago.
Oh, it's the craziest time we've ever lived through. We should talk about it way more, but this is over 2 years after that. This is end of May of 2022. Listen to this story.
And today, in fact, each was a little more outrageous than the last, and this one definitely takes the cake.
Oh, wow.
So I was in Target shopping for clothes for my kids, and this woman approached me and she said, "You're the shoe fits, aren't you?" And I said, yeah, I am. And she goes, well, I used to.
Oh, dude. First off, everything I was just setting up.
Is that?
You're the shoe fits. I recognize this asshole. Yeah. Kids, come over here. Get a picture with the shoe fits.
No, it's probably the shoe fits wouldn't shop at Target. It's probably just someone that looks like the shoe
with
fits.
a Target for his children's clothes. That sucks. Parents just don't understand.
To follow everything you did. I loved all of your content.
And then you created this one video, and I immediately unfollowed you. So here I am shocked, and I go, well.
Okay. So let's think about that for a second. Recognize in Target. Oh, I know you from TikTok. The shoe fits. Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you. I loved you. You were my favorite. I liked I commented, I shared, but then you made a video I didn't like. And
you were my best friend.
Yep. And then I unfollowed you.
Yeah.
This is the story that he's telling about this interaction at Target with someone who knows who he is.
So here I am shocked, and I go, well, I'm thankful that you were there for all of that journey. And I'm sorry that you didn't agree with something that I had to say. I hope you have a good day. And she goes, wait, you're not going to try and make it better? You're not going to try and make a video to apologize to me? And I said, well, my content's made for me. It's not made for everybody. And it very much represents my values. So I'm sorry you didn't agree, but there's nothing I can do. I can't make everybody happy.
Now, first off, he doesn't even understand what an interaction would be like if he was recognized.
You don't think the natural response would be, oh, interesting, what video?
This could never happen. No one would ever be like, hey, I know you. You're that guy I used to love, and then you made that one thing I didn't like, and so I don't follow you anymore.
Aren't you going to make this bet? I demand restitution.
And then, yes, and then can you make it right? Since I've now met you out at Target, it's now your turn to make it right for you. And I know you've been recognized. You've talked about it. I've been recognized and stuff. It wouldn't even come up. If somebody saw you and they didn't like you, they just don't talk to you.
Right.
I see people all the time that I recognize. And I'm like, I don't like that person.
Or even they hide it. Like I've gotten like, hey, I said this on Twitter and I feel bad about it. And I'm like, well, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't even know. You know, like they're more apologetic more than like, hey, motherfucker, let me tell you something.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So he doesn't understand how people think. Like the way people think is foreign to Dan, which is why Dan is so crazy, which is why we love him so much. Because he thinks that you would walk up to a TikTok creator and say, you need to right the wrongs for what offended me.
Well, he's got a character. It's like going up to Larry David and trying to give him like an awkward handshake. And he'll be like, this will be a story.
Right.
Like this, in his world, this person is trying to get into a Daniel Alexander video. Like, but aren't you going to make a video where you tell my story?
That could be true. Yes. So that's what he thinks. Now, my advice to Dan Alexander, who we keep calling a liar over and over again, and now he's making videos addressing that directly to us, so I know he's watching and paying attention. Yeah. My recommendation to you, Dan, is when someone recognizes you at Target and they go, hey, aren't you the shoe fits? Pull out your phone and film the interaction. You love recording yourself talking to no one.
You love changing minds.
I want to see a recording of you talking to anyone, someone,
another person,
not your girlfriend talking about what her credentials are off camera. I don't care about that. When someone comes up to the window at the coffee shop and they go, Trump is my guy, and try to convince me he's not, and then you convince them over the next 2.5 minutes of dialogue.
Oh my God, I see so clearly.
Record that. God damn it, Dan. No one's buying it. This is why we don't buy it. 'Cause it's always like after the fact how much of a hero you were. And that interaction could not possibly happen on this earth. I'm telling you.
No,
there's no way.
Of course.
He's not even popular enough for that. It's not like Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas might get people come up to her and being like, oh,
absolutely.
you lost me, Trisha.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, I could see that. That would make sense. This is the shoe fits.
And there's no take that Daniel has ever had that isn't absolutely what his followers want. Like there's no deviation where it's like this checks the box, and then one day he's like, you know, I think Trump actually made a good point here. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing he says that isn't exactly what the people following him want.
Yeah, what would be so controversial?
Right.
Well, that's why watch all his videos and they'd be like, but I don't like that one.
But that's why I pointed out that he didn't say like, oh, which video? Because you would think like, really? I'm surprised to hear that. What was it? And so it's, hey, you made a video I didn't like. It doesn't matter what one. Let's move on.
I would, if someone came to me, and I've gotten lots of notes from people who say like, oh, I didn't like this thing you did. I'm always curious, like, okay, what didn't you like about it? What can I do better? That's how you get better as a creator.
I said when I talked about Bill Burr a couple weeks ago, literally someone commented like, gonna have to bail on this guy. And I'm interested in talking about that. Like
Right.
I responded to some of those comments because I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
For Daniel to be like, all right, see you later. It's actually the least open-minded.
That doesn't make any sense at all. All right, this next clip is the last one. This is what I was setting up a second ago, and I apologize. This is also from May of 2022, which is what threw me off. But this is what I was talking about with the mask wearing and everything else that we went through as a society.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Still trying to wrap my head around this one, but I just went to the gas station for lunch and, I'm wearing my mask.
Hold on. I didn't even pick up on that the first time I watched this. I just went to the gas station for lunch.
Yes, they have a nice spread.
Oh, no. Oh, God. So I'm microwaving my burrito, right? And this woman comes over to me. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And this black man walked in with his 3 kids, and they were cute as could be. 1 little girl and 2 little boys. And
I also want to point out, and this is, you don't have to elaborate on this, but this is May 21st, 2022. And Dan is just like, of course, I'm wearing my mask at the gas station. And he pulls up his cloth mask, which by May of 2022, I think even the CDC knew did absolutely nothing to stop the spread of COVID. Like this was horse shit all along. But he's still proud of himself.
He was doing God's work. I'm proud.
No, he's still proud of himself.
Yeah.
And all of the kids were wearing masks, but he wasn't. And there were 2
I got a
cash
question.
registers ringing up.
Yep.
Question. Kids were cute as can be. All wearing masks.
Good point.
How's that work?
Well, Mike, you have to understand that when you're as progressive as Dan, all black children are the cutest black children you've ever seen in your life.
More of the cutest kids.
That's hilarious. That's another great poll.
They're all wearing masks.
We should be. I got to pay more attention to these videos because I just laugh about them. I didn't realize.
Couldn't see any of their faces. Cutest kids.
A lot of tells going on here.
But he wasn't. And there were 2 cash registers ringing up. And he walked up behind me. And he said something. I had no idea what he said. So I turned around and just kind of gave him a friendly nod.
Yeah,
and
whatever.
I heard him say,
Black
thank
guy.
you. And he reached in his pocket and he put his mask on. And I said, thank you. Thank you for what? And he said, I'm thankful for people like you who clearly care about other people.
It's getting choked up.
Could you imagine what it would be like for me to walk into a store or a place of business with a mask on? Can you imagine how hard that is? It's good to see people like you.
I just want to point out the way this video starts. Let me play it again.
Trying to wrap my head around this one, but
he's still trying to wrap his head around this one. Me too. Maybe come up with a story that makes a little bit of sense before you report it on your TikTok channel.
You remember though, and this is 2022, so Biden had already taken office, but it was still while Trump was president. And he's like, everyone wear a mask, not the blacks, but all the others have to wear masks.
Yeah. We don't trust those blacks with those masks on. We know what's going to happen.
It was policy Trump put in place that stuck well into 2022.
What a fucking asshole. A black guy comes in with his children. He can't wear a mask because obviously the police would immediately pepper spray him if he were.
Yeah. And I know it's pointed out all the time with this stuff, but like making this up is way more racist.
Yes.
Than any other possibility of this story.
Well, one of my favorite Dan stories of all time was when he was hanging out with his black friend when they were kids.
Yes.
And he dropped his Coke bottle and it smashed. Yeah. And the police came and they brought his black friend away in handcuffs for dropping a bottle of Coke.
You've broken.
This would have been in the 90s.
You're not allowed to drop soda. I don't care what you say about Rodney King. This is.
But what's great about that, though, Mike, to your point, is he tells the story as if everyone watching just be like, "Yep, we know that's how the world works." Like that's what's so racist about these people. They literally think they're living in Jim Crow's South, and it's just no. There's just one drinking fountain. Well, there aren't any drinking fountains, but you get my point. No one's saying there's separate vending machines.
It's also often like gas station attendant. Like gas stations are often owned by diverse groups of people.
Right.
It's not like they would automatically be like, "Hey, black guy, mask off. All you whites, keep them on."
And mostly Indians who do hate black people, but I get your point.
Sure, yeah.
You're just like, all brown people are the same. I'm like, well, we can have a discussion.
I'm like Daniel. I'm closed-minded that way. Go to blindmike.com for Blind Mike, or go to whoarethese.com for Karl, and make sure you subscribe to both channels, or there will be no banter.